You cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails, Buddha. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by a single rude comment? How often do setbacks throw you off balance, leaving you anxious or upset for days? These external factors seem to disturb our inner peace, don't they? But what if I told you that you don't have to let them control your emotions anymore? Hello and welcome back to our channel, Son.Mindfulness. Today, we're diving into a topic that many of us struggle with: emotional freedom. In a world where every little comment or unexpected event seems to have the power to disrupt our peace, it's no wonder we feel stressed and exhausted. But there's good news. Buddhism offers us powerful tools to regain control of our emotions, to become emotionally untouchable, and to live with lasting peace. In today's video, we will explore how you can learn to master your emotions using Buddhist wisdom. Imagine living your life without being swayed by every passing thought, comment, or frustration. What if you could navigate life with calmness and clarity, no matter the circumstances? This is not only possible, it's a way of life that many Buddhists practice every day. By understanding the principles of detachment, non-reactivity, and acceptance, you can protect your inner peace and regain control over how you respond to the world. So, stay with us until the end of this video as we share practical tools and inspiring teachings that will help you transform your emotional experience. These teachings will guide you to a place where you are no longer at the mercy of external events. Instead, you'll learn how to build a calm, steady foundation from within. At Son.Mindfulness, we believe in empowering you to live a peaceful and fulfilling life. Our goal is to help you discover how mindfulness and Buddhist practices can support your well-being, bringing balance and harmony into your daily life. If you find today's topic helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Son.Mindfulness. Your support helps us continue creating content that inspires positive change. We wish you health, peace, and happiness, and may you always find strength in the wisdom of mindfulness. Now let's get started. What if you could learn to navigate life with unshakable peace? Stay tuned as we explore how to make that a reality. Part 2. The Power of Detachment. Defining detachment. What does it mean to truly detach from the world around us? It's not about becoming indifferent. It's not about closing yourself off from life or emotions. In Buddhism, detachment means experiencing life fully without clinging or controlling. Imagine holding a rose in your hand. If you grasp it too tightly, the thorns will prick you. The harder you try to hold on to it, the more pain you feel. But when you hold the rose gently, you can admire its beauty without suffering. This is what detachment is: fully experiencing life, but without the need to control or possess it. You can enjoy the moment without the fear of losing it. In Buddhist teachings, attachment is the root of suffering. We cling to people, material things, and even ideas. We fear losing them, and this fear creates pain. But detachment teaches us that nothing in this world is ours to hold forever. Everything is temporary. The moment we release our grip, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. The benefits of letting go. Have you ever felt burdened by your past? Perhaps you hold on to regrets, past mistakes, or missed opportunities. These emotional weights can weigh us down, making it difficult to move forward. Letting go, however, allows us to experience freedom. Let's consider the story of a man named Tenzin. Tenzin had spent most of his life holding on to past grievances. He blamed himself for things he couldn't change and carried the weight of regret. One day, during a visit to a Buddhist temple, Tenzin spoke to a monk. The monk, with a calm voice, shared a simple but profound idea. The past is like a shadow. It follows you only as long as you turn around to face it. If you turn forward, it fades away. Tenzin began to understand. He was holding on to a past that was no longer his. The mistakes he made, the choices he regretted, were all behind him. By releasing them, he allowed himself to heal. As Tenzin began to let go, he noticed his heart felt lighter. He no longer spent his days in turmoil over things he couldn't change. Instead, he began to experience peace and clarity, freed from the chains of his past. This is the power of letting go. When we release attachments, we create space for inner peace to flourish. Detachment brings freedom from suffering, allowing us to live fully in the present moment. It frees us from the emotional burdens that hold us back. The practice of detachment. How can you begin to practice detachment in your own life? The first step is to recognize what you are attached to. It may be a relationship, an outcome, or even a material possession. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to lose? When we identify these attachments, we can begin the process of letting go. The practice of detachment doesn't mean withdrawing from life or becoming cold. Instead, it means allowing life to flow without clinging to outcomes, people, or things. Imagine a tree standing strong in the wind. Its roots are deep, but it doesn't fight the storm. It sways and bends, but it doesn't break. This is how we should approach life, with flexibility and strength, but without the need to control. Detachment leads to mental clarity. When we let go of expectations and attachments, we no longer waste energy trying to control everything around us. Instead, we focus on the present moment. We make decisions without the fear of the outcome. We allow life to unfold naturally. And in this space, peace thrives. When we learn to let go of attachments, we begin to see the illusion of control more clearly. We realize that trying to hold on to everything only leads to more stress. It's in surrendering to life's flow that we find true peace. Now let's explore the illusion of control and how it shapes our journey to freedom. Part 3. The illusion of control. Control and its illusion. How often do we find ourselves trying to control every aspect of our lives? We control our schedules, our relationships, and even the way people perceive us. It's natural to seek control. It feels safe. But in reality, the more we try to control, the more we suffer. Why is that? Think of trying to catch clouds with chains. It's futile. No matter how hard you try, you can't hold on to them. The more you struggle, the further they drift away. This is exactly what control feels like. The harder we hold on, the more exhausted we become. In Buddhism, control is seen as an illusion. We believe we can shape every moment, force every outcome. But life is fluid. It doesn't follow our plans. It flows like a river, unpredictable and ever-changing. And yet, we try to manipulate it, like a leaf trying to change the current. This constant struggle against life's flow only brings frustration and exhaustion. Buddhist wisdom on control. Buddhism teaches us that the root of suffering is attachment, not just to people or things, but to the idea of control itself. One of the most profound teachings of the Buddha is this: life is change and change is life. Life is fluid and uncontrollable. We cannot hold on to anything forever. The moment we realize this, we begin to release the need to control. There is a powerful story from the life of the great general, Genghis Khan. Though known for his strength and ability to conquer, Genghis Khan learned the importance of surrendering control as he grew older. He once told his generals, "The more you try to control, the less you own. The less you grasp, the more you gain." He recognized that the key to success was not in trying to force outcomes, but in aligning himself with the natural flow of life. Think about a person who spends their days micromanaging everything: work, family, even their personal time. At first it feels satisfying. They feel productive and powerful. But over time, the constant effort to manage every detail wears them down. Their mind is restless, their body fatigued, and their spirit drained. They start to realize control is not the answer. Then one day, they let go. They stop fighting life's unpredictability. They surrender. And in that surrender, they find peace. This person, once overwhelmed by the desire to control, now experiences freedom from anxiety and stress. The path to peace through acceptance. What happens when we stop fighting for control? We find peace. Peace doesn't come from fighting against the currents of life, but from surrendering to them. Acceptance is the key to tranquility. When we accept things as they are, rather than trying to control them, we create space for peace to emerge. Acceptance is not about giving up. It's not passivity. It's about acknowledging the reality of the present moment without resistance. Imagine a river flowing gently through a forest. The water doesn't fight the rocks in its path. It simply flows around them, adapting to the landscape without losing its direction. In the same way, we can learn to adapt to life's challenges. Instead of struggling, we learn to navigate with calmness. The path to peace begins with acceptance. When we stop resisting the things we cannot change, we stop fighting life. The Buddha taught us to practice mindfulness, to accept things as they come. Life is not about control, it's about being present with what is. By accepting life as it is, we free ourselves from the constant need for control. This acceptance leads to peace, which allows us to focus on what truly matters. Now that we've explored the illusion of control, let's delve into the importance of why you should stop caring. The key to inner freedom lies in understanding where to place your energy. Part 4. Why you should stop caring: the harm of caring too much. How often do we find ourselves overwhelmed by the opinions and judgments of others? We care about what people think, about fitting in, about meeting expectations. But have you ever stopped to ask, does it really matter? When we care too much, we end up draining our mental and emotional energy. It's like a cup of water that we keep filling without ever emptying it. Eventually, it overflows. The more we care about everything, the less energy we have for what truly matters. Think about the constant need to please others, to seek validation from the outside world. It's exhausting. When we are consumed by what others think, we lose sight of our true selves. In Buddhism, this attachment to external validation is seen as a major source of suffering. We give away our power, allowing others to shape how we feel. Let me tell you a story about a man named Samson. Samson was a successful businessman, always striving to meet the expectations of his clients, family, and society. He lived for others' approval. But over time, the weight of constantly trying to please everyone drained him. He found himself emotionally overwhelmed, exhausted, and disconnected from what truly made him happy. One day, he sat by a river, reflecting on his life. He realized that he had spent so much time worrying about others that he had forgotten to focus on his own happiness. In that moment, Samson understood. He didn't have to carry the burden of other people's expectations. He decided to start living for himself, not for others' approval. The relief he felt was immediate. He began to rediscover his peace by caring only about what aligned with his values, not what others expected of him. This story illustrates the harm of caring too much about external validation. It wears us down, making it difficult to find inner peace, caring about the right things. So, how do we break free from this endless cycle of caring about everything? Buddhism offers a simple answer: care about what aligns with your true values. Buddhism teaches that caring too much about external things is a form of attachment. Instead, we should focus on cultivating inner peace, compassion, and wisdom. When we prioritize these values over external validation, we begin to experience true freedom. Consider the example of Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen Buddhism. Bodhidharma did not care about the opinions of others. He cared only about his own path to enlightenment and the wisdom he could share. Despite being misunderstood and ridiculed, he remained steadfast in his beliefs. His freedom came from not being attached to how others saw him. He was free because he cared only about his inner peace and truth. This is the lesson we can learn from Bodhidharma's life. But how can we start applying this principle in our own lives? First, we need to ask ourselves, what truly matters to me? Focus on things that bring you peace, happiness, and growth. Let go of concerns that do not serve your well-being. If you find yourself worrying about others' opinions, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this concern aligned with my values? If not, it's time to let go. The liberation of letting go. The freedom we seek comes when we stop carrying burdens that do not align with our true selves. When we release the need for external approval, we begin to reclaim our power. In Buddhism, this practice is often referred to as detachment. But detachment is not about avoiding life or withdrawing from the world. It's about not holding on to things that weigh us down. When we stop carrying unnecessary burdens, we make space for inner peace. Let's reflect on a simple example. A person carrying a heavy backpack. The more they carry, the more exhausted they become. But when they let go of unnecessary items, the weight lightens. In the same way, when we let go of concerns that do not align with our true values, we feel lighter. We feel free to live authentically, without the burden of trying to please others or meet external expectations. Freedom, therefore, comes when we focus only on what truly matters. When we let go of the need for validation, we create space for joy and peace to enter our lives. We reclaim our power by choosing what we care about and releasing what does not serve us. Now that we've explored the importance of caring about the right things, we can move forward with understanding the power of non-reactivity. As we stop caring about everything, we begin to notice how much of our energy goes into reacting to the world around us. What if, instead of reacting, we simply remain still, rooted in our inner peace? Part 5. The power of non-reactivity. Non-reactivity and inner strength. How often do you find yourself reacting impulsively to a situation? A comment that irritates you, a person who challenges your beliefs, a moment of frustration that leads to a quick emotional response. But what if, instead of reacting, you could pause and remain calm, no matter what happens? This is the essence of emotional non-reactivity, staying grounded and calm in any situation. Non-reactivity is not about suppressing emotions. It's about acknowledging your emotions without letting them control you. It's about choosing how to respond, not simply reacting out of habit. In the Buddhist tradition, emotional non-reactivity is considered a powerful practice. The ability to remain calm in the face of chaos is a sign of deep inner strength. It's not about avoiding life's challenges, but about facing them with clarity and peace. This takes practice. It requires discipline and mindfulness. But when you learn to stay still, you stop being swept away by every emotional wave. Let me share a story about a man named Mingji, a respected monk in a quiet Buddhist temple. One day, a traveler came to the temple and insulted Mingji, questioning his teachings and mocking his beliefs. The monk, instead of responding with anger, simply sat in silence, allowing the words to pass through him without reaction. The traveler grew frustrated, expecting the monk to argue or defend himself. But Mingji remained calm, breathing deeply and staying centered. After a long pause, he gently said, "Anger is a fire that burns the one who carries it. I choose not to carry it." The traveler, taken aback by this response, left the temple quietly. In this simple act, Mingji demonstrated the true power of emotional non-reactivity. He did not let anger take root in his heart. Instead, he remained in his peaceful center, showing that strength comes not from reacting, but from remaining calm. Benefits of emotional stillness. Why is emotional stillness so important? When we react impulsively, we give away our power. Our emotions control us instead of us controlling them. Non-reactivity, on the other hand, allows us to take a step back and make decisions with clarity, not impulse. It gives us the space to respond thoughtfully, rather than getting caught up in the heat of the moment. Consider General Guan Yu, a legendary military leader in Chinese history. Known for his bravery and wisdom, Guan Yu faced many dangerous battles. However, it wasn't his sword that made him a great leader. It was his ability to remain calm under pressure. He would take a deep breath and assess the situation before acting. His ability to stay still, to think clearly in the face of chaos, gave him an edge in every battle. This emotional mastery is what allowed him to navigate the complexities of leadership and warfare. When we practice emotional non-reactivity, We develop the ability to navigate difficult situations with wisdom and calmness. We stop being victims of our emotions. Instead, we become the masters of our responses. This mastery is not about avoiding challenges, it's about meeting them with a clear and focused mind. Strength through silence. Silence and stillness in the face of chaos are powerful forms of emotional control. Imagine standing in the midst of a storm. The winds howl, the rain pours, and the world seems to be falling apart. But amidst this storm, there is an ancient oak tree, standing firm and unshaken. The tree doesn't fight the storm. It simply remains rooted, its branches swaying gently in the wind, but never breaking. This is the power of stillness. In the face of chaos, we can choose to remain grounded. We can choose silence, not as weakness, but as strength. When we remain silent, we don't allow external noise to disturb our peace. We are not passive, but active in our choice to remain calm. Silence gives us the opportunity to observe, to reflect, and to respond wisely. It is a powerful form of emotional control because it shows that we do not need to react to every disturbance. Like the oak tree, we can stand strong even in the midst of the fiercest storms. The power of non-reactivity in everyday life. In your everyday life, you may encounter situations that challenge your emotional balance. A rude comment, a misunderstanding, a stressful event at work. Each of these situations presents an opportunity to practice non-reactivity. Before you respond, take a moment to pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what will my reaction bring? By staying still, you allow your inner wisdom to guide you, rather than your emotions. As we practice non-reactivity, we begin to notice how much of our energy is spent reacting to the world around us. But what if we could release the need to react to everything? What would happen if we chose to respond from a place of inner peace, instead of reacting out of habit? Now let's explore freedom from society's expectations, and how we can begin to free ourselves from the pressures of the world around us. Part 6. Freedom from society's expectations, society's programming. Have you ever felt pressured to meet society's standards? To be successful, to look a certain way, to act a certain way? It's easy to fall into the trap of societal expectations. From a young age, we are taught what is right and wrong by the world around us. We are told that success means wealth, that happiness means fitting into a particular mold. But what if these expectations are not truly ours? What if they are simply a script we've been given to follow, without ever questioning it? In many cultures, there is a strong pressure to conform. People often define their worth by how others perceive them. We live our lives seeking validation, chasing after things that are expected, not necessarily things that bring us joy or peace. But does it bring us happiness? Does it give us a sense of fulfillment? Let's look at the story of Li Wei, a successful lawyer from a prominent family. Li Wei grew up with clear expectations from his parents and society. Success meant high-paying jobs, prestigious positions, and recognition from others. He spent years working tirelessly to meet these goals. But deep inside, he felt empty. He was constantly stressed, constantly trying to keep up with what society told him was important. One day, after a long, tiring week, Li Wei took a walk in the park, away from his busy life. As he sat on a bench, he thought about all he had achieved, yet felt no joy. That's when he realized he had been living someone else's life. He had been chasing a success that wasn't aligned with his true self. Li Wei decided to make a change. He stepped away from his law career, exploring what truly brought him peace, teaching young children, volunteering in the community, and writing. By living authentically, Li Wei found deep fulfillment. His story shows us how much energy we waste chasing what others think is important. Freedom comes when we stop living by the script society gives us and start living by our own values. The power of authenticity. True freedom is found when we break free from society's expectations. We are all born with unique gifts, desires, and purposes, but when we conform to external pressures, we suppress our true selves. Living authentically means embracing who we are, not who society wants us to be. When we live according to our values, we reclaim our true power. We stop living for others' approval and start living for ourselves. Consider the life of the Buddha. Before his enlightenment, the Buddha, Prince Siddhartha, was born into a life of privilege. He had everything society deemed necessary for happiness: wealth, power, and status. But he felt incomplete. He didn't find true peace in luxury or comfort. Instead, he chose a path of self-discovery and authenticity. He rejected the societal expectations placed on him and set off on a journey to find the truth about life. Through meditation and contemplation, he discovered the path to enlightenment, free from the pressures of society's approval. This story of the Buddha's life highlights the power of living authentically. When we stop living for others and start living for our inner truth, we find peace. The power of authenticity lies in living according to your own values, not what others expect of you. Letting go of the need for approval. One of the hardest habits to break is the need for approval from others. From childhood, we are conditioned to seek validation. We want to be liked, accepted, and praised. But when we constantly seek approval, we lose touch with who we really are. We become slaves to external opinions, always adjusting ourselves to fit others' expectations. But here's the truth. The more authentic you are, the more liberated you become. When you stop seeking validation from others, you reclaim your power. You are free to be yourself, without fear of judgment. Think of General George Washington, a leader who faced immense pressure during the American Revolution. He did not follow the conventional path. He was not motivated by fame or external approval. Instead, he focused on doing what he believed was right for his people and his country. By staying true to his own values, he not only led a revolution but also created a nation founded on freedom and authenticity. You too can begin to live authentically by taking small steps. Start by questioning the societal norms that you've accepted. Ask yourself, what is truly important to me? Stop adjusting your life to meet others' expectations. Honor your own voice. When you do this, you begin to shed the layers of societal pressure, uncovering your true self. Now that we understand the importance of living authentically, it's time to reflect on how we can achieve true freedom from the world's expectations. Living for ourselves is the first step, but what does that mean for the next chapter of our journey? Let's explore this idea further in the conclusion. Conclusion. As we come to the end of this journey, let's take a moment to reflect. What have we learned? The key lessons from today's discussion are clear and simple. Emotional freedom begins with detachment. It comes when we let go of unnecessary attachments, whether to people, outcomes, or possessions. Non-reactivity is another crucial element. When we stop reacting impulsively to life's challenges, we reclaim our peace and power. Lastly, we learned that letting go of societal expectations leads to true freedom. By living authentically, we become the masters of our own lives, no longer burdened by the approval of others. True peace is not about controlling every situation. It's about accepting life as it is, in all its unpredictability and imperfection. When we release the need to control, we make room for peace to naturally flow into our lives. This is the essence of mindfulness, to be present in each moment, to live with awareness, and to embrace what is. Now I encourage you to take these principles and apply them in your own life. Start by letting go of unnecessary worries. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? In moments of stress or frustration, take a deep breath and choose calmness over reaction. Begin living authentically, focusing on what truly matters to you, not what others expect. Remember, peace doesn't require perfection. It simply requires presence, acceptance, and the courage to be yourself. I am deeply grateful that you've taken the time to watch and reflect on these lessons. I hope you find the strength to embrace these changes and experience the freedom they bring. If you found these ideas helpful, I invite you to subscribe to Son.Mindfulness so we can continue this journey together. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your reflections are always welcomed and appreciated. Thank you for your time and energy. I wish you health, peace, and happiness on your journey. May you find the courage to live authentically and let go of anything that doesn't serve you. Until next time, take care and be well.